Alright guys, welcome back. This is going to be a video answering all the questions that I get on almost a daily basis, and just questions that you guys, the viewers, have asked me. I did a post, it's been quite a while now, but I did a post on like Instagram and on YouTube asking what questions you guys want answers to. And but before we get into that, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. Yes, there is some stuff going on with my face. I wasn't really going to make any videos until it cleared up, but I don't want to put you guys out that long. It's already been, let's see, it's been about a week and a half now. I just woke up one morning, had a little tingle in like the corner of my nose and the corner of my lip. Thought, oh, maybe I'm getting a cold sore, which I've never really had. So I didn't know what it was like or what it was. And it just continued to get worse. So then my nose and the corner of my lip just kind of turned into a blister, and then it spread over to my cheek. So I went to the doctor. Turns out it's just like some sort of staph infection. Not really sure how I got it, where it came from, but about a week and a half, and it's starting to heal on the antibiotics and stuff, so we'll be fine. Just, you know, I didn't need any more help looking bad, but that just made it worse. So now that that's all cleared up, I'm just gonna look a little bit funny here probably in the next couple videos. I don't see it clearing up anytime soon, but still need to put out videos, still need to make content for you guys, so here we are. All right, let's get into some of these questions. Probably the most asked question I get is, what size wheels and tires are you running? What size are the rear tires? What size are the rear wheels? So the rear wheels are 15 by 10 with 5.5 inch back spacing. And I'm using this as a cheat sheet. I actually made a post on Instagram with all this information because I got asked so much. So 15 by 10 with 5.5 inch back spacing. I am running a 1/4 inch spacer just because they fit without the spacer, but it was really close. The tire was probably a 1/4 inch from the frame. And yes, I cut the bump stops off of the frame. Not so much to clear the tires and wheels, but more to clear the axle because I have a lowering block on it. So that leads me into the next question. Oh wait, first, the front are 17 by 4s. 17s because I used to have the big brakes on here and I had to have 17s to clear it. But now I could run a 15, but I'm just running what I have. So they're 17 by 4 inch and 1.75 inch back spacing. It's the only option you have with those Vision, Jag, Summit wheels, whatever you want to call them. But yeah, the next question is, how much is it lowered? I don't really know in the front. Now it's a stock spindle with coilovers, so they're adjustable. It's not really like a set lowered. The rear, I have a 3-inch block in it to lower it. What is the axle width? The axle is stock S10 width. I've never actually measured it, but I believe it's like 54.5. I don't know, you'll just have to Google it or measure a stock one. I've never actually put a tape on it, but it is stock width, 4 9-inch from Quick Performance. Another big question that I always get, why the carburetor? I've answered this numerous times, so hopefully this is the last time I have to answer it. It's just a personal preference. That and packaging, don't have to run an intercooler with it. At the time, it was cheaper than fuel injection. Now, probably not so much, but at the time, it was cheaper for me to do that than fuel injection. And then just because there was, you know, some people told me it wasn't never gonna work. You know, it didn't work. Wouldn't be powerful, wouldn't be competitive along those lines. So, kind of did it out of spite too. All right, so some of these, not everything on this Q&A that I posted is about the S10, but most of it is. Ryan06 on Instagram says, how much boost? How much boost total? On the old combination with the single turbo, I think it was around like 19 pounds of boost was the most I ran. Right now I'm running on like 11 and 12 pounds of boost. And that's where I have it set right now. Motivated on Instagram says, what would you have done differently if you started the build today? That's a good one. I probably would have spent money in different places. I don't regret getting the 9-inch. I don't regret buying the Hughes Performance transmission, but there was just a lot of stuff that I bought and then have since changed for something else. You buy parts, you sell them, and then you buy other parts. But I would have spent my money wisely in other places, probably done my research a little bit better. I don't necessarily think I would have done a whole lot different. I'm pretty happy with the truck the way it is, honestly. Other than, spending money right the first time instead of buying parts twice or buying parts and then realizing they're not going to work and then having to buy other parts. Other than that, I don't think I'd really change a whole lot. I maybe would do a chrome ollie cage instead of a mild steel, but that would require, at the time, I didn't have a TIG welder, so that would have required me to pay someone to do the cage. And I did a couple quotes for people to do it for me, and it was just way too expensive for me to do, so that's why I did it myself with mild steel. All right, next question is from my buddy Dale over at Culture Photography Las Vegas. How did you get interested in cars and builds, and what were your influences? Growing up, just as a kid, I think my brother might have had magazines laying around that I would look through. I'm not really sure how I don't have like that sure set, like I remember the cover of Carcraft magazine type deal. I just remember being super interested in trucks when I was a kid. My dad had an 89 Ford pickup truck, and as a little kid, I'd like see the suspension and stuff through the wheel wells, and I'd ask my dad, I was like, what is that? And he'd tell me it's a shock and it does this and that. And I don't know, I was always a curious little kid about cars and trucks and stuff like that. So I just started looking at magazines. It was always trucks, and it was always like big lifted off-road mud trucks, stuff like that. You'd see the 90s, typical 90s build, giant 12-inch lift, super arch leaf springs, 44-inch boggers, and 15-inch wheels, the typical 90s builds, like that stuff. The bigger the better. Like the bigger the lift kit on the truck, the cooler it was. And that's what I was like really attracted to or drawn to. And then in high school, we were picking, our elective classes, like your band and PE and stuff like that. And I saw that there was one for auto tech, and I was like, I've always been interested in cars. Well, I'm going to try this. And I loved it. And then from there, I went into the dealership as a mechanic. And from there, I learned that doing stock replacement and maintenance work wasn't really that fun. I wanted to do some performance. And that's kind of like over the course of my life, that's where we're at now. Drag racing and stuff like that. I wish I would have got into it sooner at a younger age. But growing up in the household that I was in, modifying your car, and that kind of contradicts my passion with cars. Growing up, like modifying your car and stuff like that, my stepdad at the time really frowned upon that. He hated us kids messing with our vehicles, modifying them, changing them. His favorite saying was, it took Henry Ford 100 years to perfect the automobile, and it can take a teenager 15 minutes to screw it up. So, like I said, I wish I would have got into it a lot sooner, you know, at a younger age, and had more time, more fun doing it. But that's just kind of how I got into cars. Ever since I was walking, I was curious about them. And it's funny because like nobody else in my family, I mean, sure, they all have like a somewhat appreciation for vehicles, but nothing like I am. I'm the only one that like has had project cars, and or I should say trucks, and like done full builds and stuff like that. I'm pretty much the only one that I can think of in my family that, I might have a cousin or two that, but yeah, not a lot of people in my family are gearheads like me. Poised Tipster says, what is your favorite Christmas food? To go with the holiday spirit. That one's a little off topic, but favorite Christmas food? I don't really know. That stumped me. I don't know. That's tough. I mean, my mom makes really good fudge, so definitely that. I mean, I just like food in general. Look at me. I don't have like a favorite. Honey baked ham, maybe? All of it. Let's say all of it. Next question off of my YouTube post is 2000 S10 V6. I actually met this guy in LS Fest too. He asks, where's the green army truck? The green army truck I sold. It's been quite a few months now. I posted like the 1 or 2 videos on it. The video going and picking it up, and then a video of it once I had it here. And it just didn't seem to have much interest. And I didn't really have any plans for it. I didn't have any use for it. It just kind of sat in the driveway and took up space. So I sold it. Kind of sad to see it go. I really liked that truck. I had it for a long time, and it was fun to go wheeling, but I had no use for it here, especially after my trailer got stolen. That truck, you can't really drive anywhere. It has to be trailered. It's just not set up to drive on the street. Its max speed is like 55 miles per hour, and the suspension, it wanders all over the place because the suspension's super soft for rock crawling. So after my trailer got stolen, which I still have never heard anything about, and I don't ever think we will, once that got stolen, I had no way to get it around or move it around or take it out, so I just sold it. It's gone. Let's see. Jared Garcia, did you have to cut the rear bump stops off for the rear wheels and tires to fit? I already kind of briefly touched on that earlier. No, I didn't have to cut them off to make the wheels and tires fit, but I did cut them off because I lowered the truck. Mick Herc asks, future plan. Sorry, Rox. Mick Herc asks, what are the future plans for the S10? Current status and horsepower numbers, 8th mile times, no prep, back of the track, etc. Ooh, this. I mean, I can go all night on future plans and stuff like that. But current status of the truck is basically just sitting here. Not a whole lot going on right now. I think I've decided that I'm going to try and do more 8th mile stuff. Roxy, get out of the garbage. Sorry about that. I had to yell at my dog for being in the garbage. As I was saying, I think I'm going to focus more on 8th mile stuff and try and hit up some of these no prep, end of the track type deals. With that being said, I need to get different rear tires. I need an anti-roll bar. May even need a parachute if I do quarter mile stuff. I want to try and make it so that I can do both. Whether that be have a different third member made with different gears in it or something along those lines. But number one, different rear tires and an anti-roll bar. Both of those are, you know, fairly expensive, so I'm gonna save up, try and get those done, and then we'll hit some events. Holly LS Fest West is definitely on my schedule for next year. That was a good time. There's some 8th mile classes in there. That's kind of another reason why I think I'm gonna go 8th mile stuff. Let's see, what else are future plans? I need to get a CO2 bottle so that I can get the boost controller working. Right now, ever since switching over to twin turbos, it's been on just wastegate. So that will make it so that we can turn it up, be a little bit more, you know, be able to adjust the boost a little bit more for different surface conditions, stuff like that. Make the truck a little bit more competitive. Other than that, without going on and on and on, that's pretty much the future plans. Like I said, a lot of the stuff I have planned is super expensive, so it's not going to happen instantly or overnight. I'm going to have to save up and kind of do it as I go. Let's see, 8th mile times. I think I actually have a ticket right here. That last small tire shootout was basically the first time I'd ever done anything 8th mile. And there's a 639, a 640, and a 629. So 629 is the fastest in the 8th that it's been. I want to say 978 was the fastest in the quarter mile. And I think from here forward, I'm not going to discuss times as much on the truck, just to neighbors are home. But yeah, I'm probably not going to share times as much on the channel from here forward, just to kind of, you know, keep a little bit more competitive, a little bit more secret. Don't want everyone to know what I'm running, stuff like that. Especially if we're going to be doing street stuff down in Mexico. But yeah, right now it's a low 6-second truck in the 8th. Can definitely improve on that. Like I said, haven't turned it up, haven't really done anything. That was going out there with the same tune, just dialing in the launch, just getting the truck to hook up a little bit better. Oh, another really big plan, may not be this year, but I really want it to be this year, is to do a Rocky Mountain Race Week. That being said, that's a huge commitment, huge financial commitment as well. So that's on my radar. Like I said, it may not be 2022, but sometime in this truck I want to do a Rocky Mountain Race Week. And I say Rocky Mountain Race Week just because it's closer. Seems like a little bit funner than the drag week. So that's something I'm looking forward to do as well in the truck. Let's see, what else is there? I think that's about it. I think I've covered all the questions that you guys asked. I'm sure I'm forgetting stuff. I guess just kind of to wrap it up, I'll just try and go over everything that I can think of as far as on the truck, like from front to back. So it's a 1992 S10 with a 5.3 liter truck engine in it. Basically stock bottom end, just new bearings. That's it. I believe it's a stage 2. I can't really remember now off the top of my head, but it's not really that important. Stage 2 Brian Tooley Racing cam. Max speeding rod twin GT35 turbos going into a 750 CFM quick fuel technology blow through carburetor. I've modified it to switch over to E85. Let's see. Transmission is a TH400 built by Hughes Performance. The torque converter is also a custom spec converter from Hughes Performance. It stalls, I think, around like 4,600 RPM. Cage is from S&W Race Cars. It is their S10 specific cage. Highly recommend it. It's the only cage that I found where the harness bar behind the seat is actually bent backwards to give you more room in the cab. I'm running the engine on a Holley Terminator X, just not using the fuel injection side. But that way down the road, if I ever decide to go to fuel injection, it's already there. I just plug it in and go. But I'm using the Holley to basically do my timing, my launch retard, my boost controller, bump box, all of that stuff. Drive shaft is just a custom made drive shaft from a local drive shaft company here. Rear end is 4 9-inch stock width from Quick Performance. The rear brakes are just a standard 11-inch disc brake. As far as fuel system in the back, I have just like a 10-gallon aluminum fuel cell, gravity fed to a Holley Dominator fuel pump. Part number I believe is 12-1200. And then that feeds it up to the Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator. If you look up that fuel pump, no, it is not designed to work with E85. Yes, I'm running it with E85. I have had no problems yet. Knock on wood. And let's see. It's got 2 Kirky aluminum seats in it, gutted interior. Well, I don't think there's really much. Oh, wheels and tires. The wheels are they're actually made by Vision Wheel, but Jegs and Summit and even us at Speedway all sell them, and they're the Sports Star, 17 by 4 in the front, 15 by 10 in the back, 5.5-inch back spacing. Front tires are Hoosier Skinnies. The back are Mickey Thompson ET Street Pro Radials, 275 60 15 in the rear, and I think it's like a 27.5 tall tire in the front, which the front I believe is too tall. I don't like it. I want to get smaller tires for the front, but it is what it is. We'll wait for them to wear out. Oh, blow-off valve wastegates are all from VS Racing. I think that's about it. I don't really think there's a whole lot more to it. This video is probably already long enough as it is, so I'm going to thank you guys for watching. Hopefully this answered a bunch of questions that you guys had. I'm sure I left something out, so if there's anything else you guys want to know, drop it in the comments below. I'll try and answer it there. But yeah guys, thanks for watching, and thanks for supporting the channel as you always do, and I'll see you guys on the next one.